Good morning, kids. We're going to be talking about Jacob and Esau today, and Brother Jimmy's going to be preaching about Jacob and Esau today, and on reconciliation, on being reconciled. Being reconciled means to win over to friendship or to restore. Well, Jacob and Esau were twin brothers. Esau was the oldest; he was born first, and then Jacob came right after him, hanging on to his heel with his hand. And Isaac and Rebekah were the parents, and our story is in Genesis. Um, Jacob and Esau were as different as day and night. Esau loved to fish and hunt and just stay outside and do things, and he was real hairy and big and burly. And Jacob was a smooth skin and smaller and stayed home and did things at his house. And both of them had some issues. Esau made poor choices in his life, and Jacob was sneaky. So they had some issues. Um, One time Esau had been out hunting and he came back so hungry. Well, Jacob had made some stew and it smelled so good to Esau. And Jacob said, well, you can have some if you're willing to give up your birthright. And Esau said, well, I'm just going to die if I don't eat right now. So Esau made a poor choice. He gave up his birthright, which was a big deal. He gave it up for a bowl of stew. And so he did not make wise decisions, and Jacob was sneaky. And as they got older, and Isaac, their father, got really old and sick, and he wanted to give a blessing to Esau. And he favored Esau, and Rebekah favored Jacob. Well, Isaac had told Esau uh, to go out and hunt some game, come back and cook it, and then I'll eat, and I'm going to give you a blessing. And so Rebekah overheard that, and so Rebekah, she went and told Jacob, I want you to get this blessing. We're going to dress you up like Esau. And she went and found some goat hair and put on his hands to make him feel like Esau. She had him dress up in Esau's clothes so he would smell like Esau. And then she cooked some food that Isaac would like. And she had Jacob go in there and say, here, Father, here's your food. Would you bless me? And Isaac said, is this Esau? And Jacob said, yes, it's Esau. And that happened a few times. And Esau said, Jacob said, let me start over here. Isaac said, um, come over here and let me touch you. And so Jacob went over there and he goes, oh, you do feel like Esau and you smell like Esau. And so he went ahead and blessed him. And so Jacob got the blessing. That was very sneaky of Jacob, wasn't it? And so Esau missed out on the blessing. Esau came back and presented the food, and Isaac had said, well, I already blessed you. And he said, no, you didn't. And so Jacob got the blessing, and Jacob got the birthright, but he was sneaky about it, wasn't he? And that's not right. But through all of that, finally they come back together. God had called Jacob back to the land. What had happened was Esau wanted to kill Jacob, so Rebekah sent Jacob away for a long time. But then God was saying, you need to go back to your land. Let's go. You need to go back. And so God called Jacob back, but he had to face Esau years later. And he was still afraid that Esau would hurt him or kill him. And so there had to be some reconciliation there. And that's what Brother Jimmy's been talking about a couple of Sundays ago. And today he's going to talk about Jacob some more. And but I just kind of want to share with you about reconciliation. That's what Jesus did. He came and reconciled us. We've talked about this before. But in the hardest of times, we're supposed to forgive each other. And Jesus came and he forgave in the hardest of times while he was hanging on that cross. He was hanging on that cross, and he looked down at the people that had put him on that cross. Although we all have put him on that cross by our sin. But these people, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. That is true, deep forgiveness there. So we need to practice being like Jesus and forgiving each other. We're supposed to be kind and forgiving. And if we don't forgive, it hurts our own heart when we don't forgive. I have a couple of friends that said something that just really stayed in my heart always. One friend, she was having an issue with another woman right there beside me. They were disagreeing. Well, this other woman walked off a little angry. And this friend of mine looked right at me, and you know what she said? She said, "We are going to be best friends someday." Now, isn't that something? In her hardest moment with this disagreement with this other lady, she said, "We are going to be best friends." She didn't say anything ugly, anything negative, or that she was mad. She just said, "We're going to be best friends," and stopped right at that. And that just spoke to my heart. You know, we need to practice thoughts like that. We get in a disagreement with somebody, we go and we get mad and we tell people and we're upset. When what should we do? We should just think good thoughts about that person. Pray and ask God to help you and help that person. And I have another friend that said something one time. I felt like maybe I was a little bit offensive to her, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and I wanted to hang on to her friendship. And I told her, I said, "I'm sorry," or I can't remember exactly what we said, but I remember exactly what she said. "There's nothing you can do to keep me from loving you." Now, isn't that beautiful? What if we started saying those things to each other when we had our disagreements? Huh? Do you think they'd be so cold and hard and harsh? It'd be easier to forgive, wouldn't it? There's nothing that you can do to keep me from loving you. What a blessing that is. We need to learn to reconcile. Think about how Jesus reconciles us. The whole reason he came on this earth is to forgive us and to reconcile us to God, our Heavenly Father. That is so sweet. I just wanted to share this with you, and the message that Brother Jimmy is sharing today, he talks about Jacob and how Jacob wrestled with God, Jacob wrestled with an angel. Listen to the message. It's very important, and it has some good advice. Thank you so much for listening. God bless. Have a wonderful day.